Hello, and welcome to the tip of the day for the single mom of faith. I'm Dr. Chanel Serrano, and I'm the founder of Esther's Daughters, LLC. And this tip is for anyone who comes in contact with children and teenagers. So whether you are a solo parent, such as myself, two-parent household, grandparent, godparent, or someone such as a mentor who really invests in the lives of children and teenagers, then this message is most definitely for you. Stay tuned for some great strategies and tips on how to improve your parenting relationship. So, step number one, examine your home life, your family life, the structure of your home. This includes the level of consistency. Step number two, for my journaling folks, you got it. Make sure that you're journaling for at least a 2-week period. During this 2-week period, you are simply observing your family, your home life. Don't mention it to the children because you don't want any of the behaviors and different things of that nature to change during this 2-week period. You're simply observing. Now, on a side note, if you're seeing any behavior that may be emotionally, psychologically damaging or physically damaging, you want to address that right away. But outside of that, I definitely would encourage you to continue to observe and to jot these notes down in your journal. Some things that you may be looking for is your home littered with anger and pain, as evidenced by maybe yelling or cursing? Is the environment maybe peaceful or quiet with little communication? How do your children communicate with each other? Is it with words? Is it physically? Pay attention to the television time and video game time. During this 2-week period, again, you are simply looking at their behavior, anything that you may have noticed, anything that you want to address at the end of this 2-week period. This also includes looking at some strong areas as well, things that you really like about your family and your home structure. What is working for you and your family and what is not? And also being mindful of the fact that every family works as a different unit. So what may work or may not work with another family may work or may not work for your family. It's okay for trial and error. So the next step, step number 3, is holding a family meeting. So for those of you who have a significant other, either from a 2-parent household or another adult in the home, or maybe even you co-parent as a solo parent, I would definitely discuss some of these observations that you're having and that you journaled down with them as well. If you are a solo parent and there are no other support systems, then I would definitely encourage you to connect with perhaps a spiritual mentor, spiritual father figure, mother, or biological parents, or maybe a dear sister in Christ who you really feel comfortable with, that you can share some of these observations with and get their feedback and insight before hosting a family member meeting. And the next, so as you're having a family meeting, I would suggest these particular things. Create a chart. In column 1, you're going to talk about the strong areas that you've observed in this 2-week period. So, for instance, I really like the fact that when there's an issue, my child, my oldest one, may come to me and say, "Mom, hey, I have a question here. This is what's been going on, and it's really making me feel a particular way, or I feel sad, or maybe I have anxiety." Now, granted, that's when you have really articulate children. But again, that could be seen as a strong area. So really make sure that we're not just honing in on the areas where we can improve on, but also the areas that are strong, because we really want to encourage that, promote, foster those strong areas as well. So that's column 1. And column 2, you're going to jot down the areas that you really feel that need to be improved within your family and home life. In step number 3, or in column number 3, you're going to look at your ultimate goals as a family. What do you really see for your family? And this is something that you can discuss with your children. And it doesn't have to be just a one-time thing. You can actually incorporate family meetings on a regular basis. Maybe it's once a week, maybe it's once every couple weeks, once a month, or once a quarter, depending on the stage and the age of your children and of your family. And making sure during this time you're discussing as a family, what are the goals that you want to attain as a family, okay? And what kind of legacy and what kind of foundation are you wanting to establish and leave behind? And the last step that I would suggest is this: creating a board as a family project on family goals, timeframes, and progress, and post it in a frequently traveled common area in the home. So that way, as you're walking by, your children are walking by, they're reminded of what you all have created as a family together, on what you stand for, on what your mission and your purpose is, what your goals are. And so whenever the challenges come about, you can always make sure that you're looking at that board, having those frequent conversations, and really discussing what you're really focused on and what God has created for you all and your purpose as a family. And with that information, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Tips of the day for the single mom of faith. Again, I am Dr. Chanel Serano, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great one, guys.